Hello and welcome to the Yarnings Podcast. I'm Christine and I'll be your host. This is episode 82. It is Wednesday, March 16th, and I am in a different location today. This is my couch, which is normally in my exercise / TV watching room, and we moved it in here because we're having guests this week. And so, as today is a rest day for me, and I still wanted to get in a podcast for you, I thought I would just record for you right here. No show notes, just some stuff to show you so that I can share this stuff before some big exciting things going on here. So let's see. It is Wednesday afternoon, midday, and it is sunshiny. Well, somewhat sunshiny at least. I was going to tell you what the temperature was. It seems very nice out there, but it looks like we're going to be in the 60s for this coming week. Maybe up to 60s, 52 right now. The window on this side is shining in a little bit. I've got a variety of lights in here because I like light when I craft. Even when it's a temporary place for it. We moved the couch in here on Saturday and it probably won't move back until middle of next week. So I figured I might as well have a place that I could sit, a place that I could watch some things on my iPad without having a TV in here, and a place that I could sit comfortably to rest between activities. So I guess we're already in life stories. This week is GameStorm. GameStorm is a gaming convention here in Vancouver, Washington. We have 2 guests coming to stay with us and 2 other families that are going to be in town for the event, and I'm very excited. I am most excited about seeing my friends, but there will be some game playing as well. So I have put together some knitting projects that I can work on while having conversations with people. I'm trying to get to some good spots for that to happen, and I thought I'd show some of them to you. So finished object, I am wearing, you can see I'm sitting cross-legged in my leggings on the couch, but I don't know. This is, I don't remember what I was calling it, but it's the Liesl sweater by Isolde Teague. I did mine as a striped version. The pattern didn't call for that, but I really like how that turned out. I didn't have much more to do before I showed you last time. The edge is feather and fan with picot bind off, and so it floats around me really nicely, and I'm really looking forward to wearing it with some geeky shirts. That's kind of the plan, was I thought this would work really well to show off t-shirts that had stuff on them and still be able to wear knitwear. Clever, huh? I did put on my button. This is a button from the Button Emporium here in Portland. And I crocheted, let's see if I can undo it easily. I crocheted what basically is a D-ring. So I made the edge where this D attaches to a little more firm by crocheting up and down that a few times. Because the button is a little heavy, I put a backing button on it. I tried several ways of doing this and ended up using the actual yarn from the sweater. I just wasn't getting a nice enough look otherwise with thread. Okay, there we go. I like that the blue comes up to a little edge at the same spot. And after I blocked it, it got a little longer, which, that's kind of how feather and fan goes, but the armholes are a little tight right underneath them. I don't think it's going to stop me from wearing it, but it's definitely pulling more because of the weight of the sweater. When I was doing it, I thought that the construction of the armholes was a little the sizing wise, and I do have a little bit bigger arms than maybe proportional. I'm not sure. I've been working out, but it's not all bad. So in the future, I might pay a little more attention to that and the how the dimensions would work out with a simple cap sleeve like this. I think it's going to work fine, but it is something that I need to be a little more observant of and not just follow blindly. So that is a finished object. I showed you guys last week. I don't remember exactly where I was at, but I have 3 hats. One of them, the ends have been woven in, and I wore it yesterday. This is Autumn in Garrison in some leftover Fiber Company canopy worsted, and then I found another color of it and made a second hat and used the rest of the green pawpaw, and this one has wild ginger, I think is. I know my lighting isn't quite the same in here, but 3 hats. I'm kind of proud of myself. So I need to get the ends woven in on these. I'm going to make a crochet flower with that can be detachable for this one, which is for my niece Leah. She has a hat that she's been knitting on for a while. We do at Christine's Knitting School periodically, and it had a different colored edge and a coordinating flower. It's not quite the same as this, but it's something that it reminded me of her with that fashion choice that she thought was cool. And so I'm going to do the same thing. I have some little butterfly clips that I'll attach the flower to, and then she can take it off if it's not her style anymore or whatever. So yay, 3 hats. And I got to wear, oh, I already put it away. I got to wear my hat with the sweater that the yarn was left over from. So that was really cool. This was also leftover yarn, if you'll remember last week. And I used almost all of what I had. That was what was left. Very wee amount. I didn't quite use, my swatch is inside of there. I didn't quite use all the way to the end of my swatch, but pretty close. This was Madeline Tosh Chunky in the Spectrum, and oh man, it's my favorite one. I can't even think of what it is, but it's in my notes. So, finished object. Work in progress. My socks. Where was I at last week? I had done the heels at some point. I don't remember where it was when I recorded. I had done the heels and they were too short. And so I ripped back the heels and did them again. And now I'm moving upward on the legs. And here's the little fun kind of hexagon-y detail. This is another Crafty Girl. Her tough sock, strong sock, I get it wrong. That's why I keep the little tag in here. Also to show you. Strong sock in the Countryside Castle colorway, which is inspired by Castles of Burgundy, which is a game that maybe I'll get to play this week. Maybe not. Eric might want to play more new games, but I'm hoping that possibly I can play Castles at some point, because it's an awesome game. It's in one of my Java Jenny bags. Catch and Counter Crafter, which that one is too. This is one of my favorite sock bags because I can put it on my arm and walk and do things. So those socks are coming along. I still have quite a bit of yarn. I don't have my scale over here, but I am going to keep knitting on these. These will be long socks because I really like this yarn, and that so every once in a while I want to do short socks. These ones I want to be long socks, I think. I think that they're going to coordinate with lots of things in my wardrobe as well, so that will be fun. I have cast on 2 new things. Which one first? We'll go in order of when I cast them on, I guess. So this bag, I think I showed you guys after Christmas. This is another kitchen counter crafter bag that my friend Angel had made for me and some of my friends. It's got a coordinating notions bag, and they both have different knit fabric on the insides. This one has the autumny colored knit fabric, and this is the blue, which is really fun. And so inside this bag is obviously going with me to Game Storm because there is a lot of dice rolling in different games. I don't play as many games that are dice driven normally, but there are a lot of games that are. So it will work really nice. So I have cast on the Therapy Shawl by Laura Ayler. I've done a little bit of my own freestyling already, but that's okay. It's just how I am. So this is a shawl that uses a bias. It uses striping and mesh, and there'll be some solid. There's a solid section there. I am using 3 colors. The part that is not too patterned is I did the end of this in the color that will be the other end as well, just for a little fun touch. I'm using, did I put my tags in here? That would have been really nice. Now I have a receipt from Fred Meyer. That's not what I wanted. I should go get those at some point and put them in the bag. So I have Sun Valley Fiber, her merino nylon fingering, which is 80/20, in the iris colorway, I think. I have another Crafty Girls Twinkle sock, which is sparkly, in the Galactic colorway, which is based on the game Race for the Galaxy, which is another one of my favorites, and she hit this colorway spot on. Looks just like the cover. And then I have some pink. This is 45 degrees, which was a twisted base that Black Trillium dyed back 3 or so years ago. And I don't remember what the pink colorway was named, but it is the color that I used for neckband and armholes on my tank. It was a honey beekeeper's tank. There we go. This was the accent color that I used on that. So I had enough of that I wanted to use some of it because I thought it looked so nice with the Galactic. So you can see there's small stripes of the pink and then multiple rows of the Galactic. This will be some sort of therapeutic galaxy or board game geek therapy or something along those lines when I name it. I have not even added it into Ravelry yet. That's how crazy it's been. But it will have a lot more of the mesh. I'll be adding extra because I have a lot more of the iris than I need. So I will be making it a bigger shawl than it's called for. There will be, I think, more mesh in Galactic, a solid block, and then striping with this, and it'll end out solid with this. So I'll just be using my colors as much as I can, except for the pink. I probably won't try and use all of the pink. I think after these stripes is when I'm done with it. I might add another stripe towards the end here or there for fun. So there are these cool little Pico Nubblies on the edge all the way through, and that is kind of fun. And now that I have the hang of it, it's not hard for me to do, which will make it conversation knitting. It will be more conversation knitting once I get past the stripes. Holding the yarn in a good way to make it loose enough on the edge is a little bit of a challenge. So once I get past these stripes, then it's really going to be conversation knitting for me during the con. So I will be playing games and knitting on this and knitting on the other things and in its cute dice bag. So we're going to put all of these yarns back in here, and the little notion pouch, which needs some different notions in it that will come with me. Probably some Lolo Bars, lip balm, some stuff like that. So then I can carry this and my purse, and they will be my primary things for the day. Yay! And then the other thing I cast on is the Maris. Let's see if I have the picture right here that I can show you, because it is beautiful. Of course, I'm in Netflix. You don't need to see what I'm watching, do you? All right. Oh, so the therapy shawl. There's a long view of it. And this is good reader here. And then Maris looks like that. So it's got set-in sleeves, it's got lace, it's got little buttons that I'm a little nervous about. I have not executed little buttons like that super well yet. So it will be a good challenge, right? And the instructions are very, very specific. You start out with these two little shoulder-shaped sections for either side. And then you add in a lace panel in between them. So I am not very far yet. As you can see, I'm kind of in between a thing, but starting out with these two little pointy shoulder parts, it was very interesting. Different construction than I have done quite yet. And I have the chart printed out. The chart is going to be fairly easy once I get going with it. I'm going to turn off the iPad because it makes the light buzz. Silly, huh? I'm not sure how conversational this will be, but it will certainly be easy bus knitting or that kind of thing now that I have the chart printed out to put with the yarn. The pattern is by Elizabeth Doherty. I'm going to do the Eliz-Along with the Knitmore Girls. The yarn is Marigold Jen in the Lady Violet colorway, so I think I'm calling it my Lady Maris. I love this yarn. Where did my swatch go? It was right here. I was going to show you. Okay. Oh, silly little swatch. You were right here. I don't know where it went. It's so cute. I swatched with two different size needles because the first one was just too tight, and I ended up having to go up 2 needle sizes. Yeah, I'm going to give up looking for it here. But I was going to show you. Here it is. I found it. It fell. So I first swatched with 1 size up from what the pattern called for, and it was too tight. And so then I switched and swatched to two sizes up from what the pattern called for. No, 3 sizes up. And I got really good gauge, blocked and unblocked. And so we're just going with the bigger size. My row gauge is going to be a little bit different, so I will need to pay attention to that. But look at all those colors. It's showing up a little more pink than it is in real life, but I will show you again under my normal lights next week, and you will see. It feels so good. So this is one of the sweater quantities that I purchased last year at Zombie Knitpocalypse. So I am really excited to be using that. And actually, much of the yarn that I have sitting here is ZK Vendors. So I'll be using it for the ZK Knit Along as well, because another Crafty Girl will be vending this year, as well as Sun Valley and Marigold Jen. I love my indie dyers, near and far. So those are the works in progress. The other thing that I want to get cast on is the Curtain Call cowl, but I haven't purchased that pattern yet. And I haven't wound up the yarn for it yet. So that might not get cast on instantly, but it is imminent. How about that? I do not have show notes, and so I do not have any sewing, and I don't have any spinning. That stuff will follow after Gamestorm. So, Sagas of Geekery. I haven't played any games, but I'm really looking forward to playing some games. There will be 7 of us adults that are from our group that are going to be playing games. So there won't be too many games that we will all play together. That's okay. But we will hopefully play some bigger games with as many of us as we can and see how that works out. I tend to prefer the smaller games, but I look forward to playing 1 or 2 bigger ones just so that I can play with more of the people. I am perfectly fine sitting and knitting and just being there for some of the games. I will be not attending for as many hours a day as the rest of the group because my energy level is lower than most people's, and that's okay. So I will be planning on some activities outside of the game con with the friend that is coming to not play games and the children and their kids, and that will be lots of fun. And I'll be playing games probably afternoons, and I hope to see some of my friends that are local that are coming for the con as well, and just seeing how it's all organized this year. It'll be fun. So games will be played, hopefully some of our games too, to introduce some of our friends to the games on our shelves. That will be fun too. I'm going to expand out the table so that we have space for at least us and the people that are staying here, the 2 guys that are staying here, so that we can play some games, possibly in the morning before the con starts. So that's that. For Fanciful Chatter, I got a new purse wallet, which I thought was sitting right here. Did you fall off? It must have fallen off. I was going to show you my cute purse wallet. Oh, I know. I moved it over here. I was getting out my lipstick. Okay, so I have been using Bagolini bags for the last year, and I really needed something to replace my lanyard because I've been using a lanyard for my bus pass, but it keeps breaking, and so I've had a couple of them, and so what I really needed was just a small side purse, something I could wear crossbody, and I found this one on Amazon. This has my ID, and it's got a lot of little pockets. It's got some nice, this one's a good change pouch, and then on the inside is all lined with fuchsia. So there's a little teeny thing that has my keys, my Y membership. There is spots for credit cards. My library card did not go back where it's supposed to. It does fit sock knitting in it, but it was kind of snug. And then it has a great spot for my phone right on the back. So that is my Fanciful Chatter, having something that works for bus passes, my phone, and I still can wear it crossbody and have a backpack on and not feel silly. It's small enough that it works nice as that small, kind of like an extension of my clothes. And check that out. My hair went askew. We'll fix it. I played with my makeup today. I have some pinker lips, some fancy eyes, and I wasn't even really going to put on makeup for recording. I was going to just sit here. But then I got to playing, and it was fun. Sometimes you just have to do that. For the book of cooking this week, This week am cooking for myself, but I did make cookies. I made maple-shaped cookies with maple sprinkles on them, and that was lots of fun. So I'm going to put those in the welcome packages for our friends, and that was a lot of fun to put together. I made more than I need to because that's kind of how my brain works. I grew up in a big giant family, and so every time you cooked, you made a lot. Even though there's just the two of us, I still have that mentality of I want to cook enough so I have leftovers, and it slides in when I'm making things for other people that I want to make sure people have enough, even cookies. So beyond that, we're not hosting any big meals here because there's so many of us. There's too many people to have in our house, and so we'll just be doing grab and go kind of food and breakfasts and call that good, which is harder for me. I would really like to be able to host something, but we just aren't set up for that, and that's okay. For the happiness continues, what do I want to share with you? I am just trying to be a little less anxious. When it comes up to an event, I tend to get anxious, and whether it's things I can control or not. So I'm just trying to be mindful, try and listen to my feelings, and relax and rest as needed. I've done just a wee little bit of yoga. I did not go to yoga yesterday because I needed the rest more than I needed to go to yoga. And I hate to do that. I dislike missing, but it's okay. It's not a decision that I made that I'm going to stop doing yoga altogether. It was for yesterday, that was going to be too much. So I'm going to practice as much mindfulness as I can with the crazy busy that is coming. There is one family that is here. There are people, most of the rest of the people are flying in tonight, and I will see everybody tomorrow. So that is consuming my thoughts at the moment, especially since I'm in a different place of the house. Everything feels a little bit different, and I still have cleaning tasks to do. So the editing on this podcast will be minimal. You guys will understand. You just want to hear me talk, I'm sure, and see my knitting. I believe that we will call that good for today. Just a quick little update. Probably less organized than normal, and that's okay. Maybe that should be the title, and that's okay. Okay, so if you'd like to connect with me on the internet, you can see all of my fun event pictures as I'm carrying on with the fun things that are going to be happening. I am Christine with a K on Ravelry. I am KDLB, just the letters, on Instagram. The Yarnings podcast group has a contest that we have going on through the end of the month, so you should totally check that out. And the Yarnings the show notes with links probably a little light this week are at yarningspodcast.com, all squished together. So until next time, that's the story. Bye.